This is the Bottom Line Sports Show with Gerald Brown and Rick Mahorn.
Imagine you trade a Chet Holmgren for a Giannis Antetokounmpo.
These guys are athletic as you know what, and you go like, oh my gosh, where's the fundamentals? Where's the pass first mentality? That's not in the league anymore.
And now here's your host, Gerald Brown and Rick Mahorn.
It's that time of the year. It's that time of the year. March Madness. What up, what up? I am Gerald Brown. Make sure you subscribe to the show. Make sure you check it out and be a part of what we're doing. And the bar line from a team, please. If you're trying to win, tap in. You see it at the bottom. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. What's up, Big Rick? How you doing?
I'm doing great, Gerald. Finally got off that 4-game losing streak. But what else is new? You played the Nets. We played them earlier. They beat us at home. But then we went into Brooklyn and whooped that ass.
when you have seasons like the Pistons are having, they've been really just very consistent. A lot of winning thus far. Is there a sense of alarm or concern when you have a 4-game losing streak? Because it's interesting, Rick, and this speaks to the volume of how much success the Pistons have had. When I heard about the 4-game losing streak, it really didn't stand out to me because they haven't had that. Talk about really just this sort of 4-game losing streak that they were on and how important, how the way they handle it, if there's any concern moving forward with them.
No, I think it's more of a psychological aspect of it, of approaching games differently, but also they have the manpower and they have the players that can do the mental stuff that goes through this. You have the Tobias Harrises, you have the Karis LeVerts, even having Cade Cunningham and also Jalen Duren. And Stu, knowing that you went through this before as young players, and they're still young, but they're capable of getting out of it and understanding, hey, every game is not going to be your game. And then if you do, you have a 1-game, 2-game, 3-game losers, you try to nip it in the bud. But if it doesn't happen, you put your big boy shoes on, you put your big boy hat on, and you get out there and you start grinding. And that's what, when you look at it, you get away from your principles, and the Pistons defense was what they hung their hat on.
Yeah. Now, Rick, let's get into this, man. Yesterday, preparing for the show, all I heard about, I think really was my son. Actually, shout out to two of my sons, Noah, and my oldest Noah and my youngest son Caleb were like, hey, Bam Adebayo has 60-some points. And I was like, what? I was like, yeah, it was like he has 60-some points. And it continued on and on. And then as I was watching and updated, it was interesting for him, and congratulations for him to get 83 points. Rick, as a former player, how do you feel about a guy getting 83, but the way he got it against a team that obviously,
I'll give it to you this way, Gerald.
Yes, please do.
I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna keep it real. Records are made to be broken. I understand that, and whoever you play, I don't give a damn. If you're going to get 86, 83, 80, whatever, you know what? Have as a team, have the wherewithal to say, look, I'll foul out all my players before all this happens. That's one way of looking at it, being the opposing team. But if I'm Miami, keep feeding them. Here you go. Let's go. Is this record that you put in your mind, would you ever think Bam Adebayo would do it? If you look at the league the way it is now, do you ever think he would do it?
No.
The people that have done like the 80 points, Kobe, Michael was at 63, things like that. Well, I'm not knocking anything that these players are doing now. Hey, records are here to be broken. LeBron broke the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar most points and all that stuff, right? So when I look at it, people always go, Well, you couldn't play back in that era. Hell, I mean, shoot. Look, Gerald, we didn't have bottled water. We had cups, Gatorade cups. Gatorade just came on the line. My thing is evolution. The fact that we have all these new high tech gadgets to keep you healthy, to keep your mind. Back then, the rigors that we had to go through, these guys are not necessarily going through it because hey, everything's gotten better. I mean, do you remember your house phone when you still got? You remember the change you used to keep in your pocket just so you could use the pay phone on the corner?
Yeah,
I wish all our people that are watching this, I would hope you wish you had if your cell phone all of a sudden, oh, power. Come on, man. What are you going to do? But that's what, life is. So I would have never thought Bam Adebayo would have got the 83 points. Shoot, a lot of these players are getting 50 to 49s and all that stuff. How about Wilt Chamberlain? Everybody looks at Wilt Chamberlain and say, well, 100 points. Yeah, he got 100 points and he had a ball and he had a little paper that said 100. Yes, I know I wasn't there, but you have to believe in what the records do. Your history.
But see, here's the problem. There's been a little bit of pushback from a lot of players. Certain players feeling like it's the Wizards. They weren't playing the way that they were running this. I don't want to hear nothing about no Heat culture. Because they had jokers running around on the court, and they were like, "It's here, give it to him, give it to him."
Please, hold on.
Let's keep it real. Shout out to Fred.
I'm gonna keep it real because this is what everybody has their opinion. We're all human beings. We have those opinions, and we deal with it. Oh, If Gerald, if you messed around and hit the lottery, we wouldn't even see you on here, would we? Or you would be faking it. Come on now, keeping it real. Because we get lucky sometimes. Hey, feed the horse. Dude, I had 48 points in college. We didn't have a three-pointer. What am I missing? I don't care.
It was the way he was scoring. It was the way they were giving the ball.
Who cares?
It went
who did Kobe? Who did Kobe and when Kobe got that 81? Who were they playing?
Just the Indiana Pacers.
Okay, so whoever you playing, we used to play against the Clippers. We used to call it, we're going to the Clip joint in San Diego. They were that bad. Everybody got their career high on it. I don't give a damn if it's the Washington Wizards or the Seattle Pelicans. I don't care. It's 83 points. Who else going to say something? Because it's going to be talked about all through history.
But Rick, it was just the way it was going. If you were scoring it in the flow of the game, I understand that. They were coming down. It just looked bad. And I'm telling you right now, if I was a Wizards fan, I would be disturbed. I would be upset because enough is enough.
I'm a Wizards fan. That's where I started with the Bullets. I'm a Bullet. But here's the thing. We look at it and go, okay, that's the fans' fault for buying that stuff. If they want to see that, that's them. But he did that in Miami. He didn't do that in Washington.
Don't matter. You got to have somebody. Let me ask you a question. You on that team. You letting him get them type of points?
I'm following out. You ain't even got to finish that question. It's not that I'm following out. I'm going to lay him on his ass. Because you know what? You're basically, if the Wizards wanted, if they got that ass whooping, that's what they got. This is what you're going to be in the history book alongside Bam Adebayo. At this date, at this time, he gave you 83. Gerald, he gave him 83. And the way you say the way that he did it, well, did you watch Wilt Chamberlain get his 100 points?
No,
he was at the free throw line 36 times.
Hold on a second.
Not a lot. Oh, no, but no.
Hold on now. Hold on. See what you're saying right now, it could be really misconstrued and misunderstood.
That's what I'm saying.
You're saying it almost like you comparing Bam Adebayo to Wilt Chamberlain.
I'm not comparing it. I'm not comparing it.
All right, then. So
I'm just saying. He shot the ball 30. What they gonna say? Well,
he 43 free throws.
Hold on, Gerald. Then you go, okay. All he did was make layups. Shaquille O'Neal, that's all he did because you know what? You couldn't stop him. So I don't want to hear it. If you want to stop these men, these players from doing all that, put them on their ass.
I'm saying they should have done that. I would be embarrassed if I'm a Washington Wizards fan because enough is enough. This is total embarrassment.
How many fans
they need to retire the name of the Washington Wizards. They got to find another name. This is bad. From the Bullets to the Wizards, it's terrible. And what I saw that last night, I said, this is unacceptable. This is not even basketball. I felt like I was watching an intramural basketball game. The way they was playing defense. It was almost like, here you go. And then 43 free throws? Come on, Rick. 43 free throws.
I ain't a referee, but referees call what they see. And if they were walking around there, you know, nothing against the blind man, but here you go. That's foul. That's foul. That's foul. Okay, well, we can have a game that could last for 3.5 hours just shooting free throws. But Gerald, let's get to the point. I'm over that. Whatever, you know, it's going to be something that's going to be written for. Well, you know, we have social media. We have this is like you. You're going to have people who like you on your side and people like me on my side. That's why we have choices. So you couldn't score 83 points in a year the way you played.
Well, how you know that?
Because
I mean, they were
I did my homework.
No, you know what, Rick? That's what I'm talking about. You look at the fact that he scored 83 points and pretty much with a minute left in the game. So let's say about 46, 47 minutes left in the game. 46 minutes, right? He scored 83 in 46 minutes. How much does this speak to volumes to what Wilt did, scoring 100 points in 48 minutes? I mean, the way Bam would have had to have 70 or something. Huh?
He did that without a three-pointer.
Without a three-point line. Mm-hmm. And I mean, look, like the people that he passed and the names that was coming up, I was like, wow, Wilt was on this list multiple times. And I went back and watched some of the games when he played against Kareem in the NBA Finals. And I said, oh, my God, this man was so dominant. And the fact is also, too, his athleticism, I don't want to hear that. Don't ever put his name next to Bam Adebayo because they wasn't doing that. I didn't see the game in Hershey, Pennsylvania, but they wasn't doing that. They wasn't doing that. It was some garbage. I was garbage yesterday. All I'm saying, the Wizards should be ashamed of themselves.
Okay, Gerald, you got your point across.
I just wanted to get my point across, man.
Do you want me to go get you some tissue?
No, you don't have to get me no tissue. Let's bring our guests up, man. I'm going to tell you this right now. This gentleman right here is joining us right now. I'll tell you this, man. He is definitely underrated, man. Because when I go back and I talk about the Big East history, you don't hear his name mentioned, and it should be. Because he's one of the most dynamic basketball players in college basketball, played in the NBA 14 years, the one and only Mr. Dana Barros is joining us here. Dana, what's going on?
What's going on? Salute. What's up, Ricky? My man, Rick.
What's going
on? Ricky, what they called him. Pretty Ricky, what they called him.
Oh, man, when he told me we got you, man, I just said, oh, boy, let me just let me think of some stuff. But you know what? And you're right, Gerald. When I was watching the Big East tournament, because being down either in D.C. or being in Hartford, Connecticut, and here seeing the Big East tournament, I was like, who this little dude doing all this work? But then it was a little dude before him that was doing some work, and that was that Mike Adams, my homeboy, MA. And I'm sitting there going, now I got MA and DB. I'm like, oh, come on, man. What's going on, big fella?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just maintaining them. I'm at my gym. I got a basketball gym watching the state tournament, high school games going on. So I'm good. I'm just chilling, man. Appreciate you guys having me on, man.
Hey, man, it's our pleasure, man. Dan, I want to ask you, Rick and I have just gotten this heated debate and stuff.
No, there ain't no debate. Ain't no debate.
I want to ask him.
Okay, go ahead. Because Gerald, you try to slide a piece of pie across so you could get, he on my side. Go ahead, Gerald. I'm sorry.
Your thoughts as a former player on Bam Adebayo's 83 points last night. There's a little criticism and stuff like that, the way he scored that 43 attempts, the Washington Wizards, from your basketball standpoint, how did you feel about that 83 points, and what did you think of it?
I look at it as 83 is 83, right? It's still 83 points, man. But I will say that the way, from what I heard, it was I didn't actually get to watch the game. People are mad that Miami was fouling on purpose, but why the hell would Washington keep fouling them too? Like, what the hell was the Wizards doing? You know what I mean? Like, damn, I mean, he get 43 free throws. What the hell are y'all doing?
Exactly.
So to me, it was foolishness because Washington allowed it to be foolishness. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just thought 83 is 83. I scored 50. We lost by 20, but I still was getting my 50. So, you know what I'm saying? I got my 50, but still, he had like what 60 at halftime or something like that, 70 at the end of the third. So I don't know what the hell Washington was doing, man. So I blame the Wizards. That's who I blame. I blame the Wizards. But 83 is 83, man. I don't care how you look at it. You know what I'm saying? It's still
That's
the
how
league.
many points. That's how many points Gerald got in his lifetime. That's his career. All the games he played over there at the Rucker or something. He ain't even played the Rucker.
Hey, yes, I did. Hey, you know what, Dana? Though I got to tell you this, man, and I want to get your thoughts and opinions when you go back to your college career. Do you ever feel like when you talk about what you did and accomplished at Boston College, do you ever kind of feel like it was overlooked just because the fact is, unfortunately, it wasn't a part of that, the great runs and stuff, the Syracuse and the Georgetowns and stuff. Do you ever look back and say, yo, man, listen, you kind of felt like you might have been overlooked?
Yeah, but that's how I wanted. That's what made me get to the level that I got to. Was that I was overlooked in high school, I was overlooked in college, and even in the pros, I felt like I was underrated. So that's how I wanted it. That's why I became the player I became, because that shit inside of me just made me work harder. It made me mad. It made me feel like, okay, that's what they think about me. Okay, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you this. I'm gonna give you this. I'm gonna give you that. It just made me who I am. So I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. You know what I'm saying? Well, the numbers are the numbers, so they can't take it away from me.
Yeah.
That's my man, DB.
I got to tell you this, man, because, Rick and I always kid with me. I used to be a ball boy for the Knicks many years ago, and I always remember working the Big East tournament. I remember early on, I was still young, working the Big East tournament, the Thursday games and stuff like that, and the teams that would come in there, and it was always Boston College and UConn right around that time.
Yeah,
and one of the things I used to always remember, the guys from Boston College and UConn, real nice. But then it would always be you, and you had this. I'm from Harlem, New York. I said, yo, this man got the stone face coming up in there, and he would just be in there like this. And I said, oh, he ain't to be played around with. And then you would go out there and cook. But I got to ask you, who put you up to that haircut, man, with the little tail, the flat top? It wasn't faded in, but he had the little tail. Where I said, yo, my man got the cut. But I said, yo, he balling. What was that about?
The honeys like the tail, man. The girls like the tail. That's all that matters. That's what that was about. They like to braid it and play with it. So I kept the tail. That was all for the honeys. That wasn't had nothing to do with basketball, B. And the stone face was I wasn't there to play no games but the game. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't there to play no games but the game. So yeah, it was all business. I was trying to get to one spot. That was the league. And to me, the Big East was like the G League of the NBA, man. Like BC didn't even offer me a scholarship, honestly, until the last day. I was a football player, top 50 football player. I was gonna go to BC, play football, and walk on the basketball team, but somebody left the basketball team on the last day, and they ended up offering me a basketball scholarship. So that's how I got there, in terms of playing basketball. But I wanted to play in the Big East. I used to sit at home and watch Big Monday, watch Pearl Washington, watch all the great guards and the great Pat Ewing, Chris Mullin. I said that's where I want to be. So it was all about that. It was all about that Big East, man. It was all the Garden was like, it was a special place to play, and the Big East tournament was different. It was totally different than anything else that you could see in college basketball. It was a pleasure to be there.
Yeah, definitely.
Gerald, we talking to the original babyface assassin right now. Okay? People don't like you just said, he had the tail and he was the honeys. Everybody would look at Dana going like, this little dude, what is he gonna do? How does it feel when someone looks at you and tries to demean you by your height, saying, "I'm gonna whoop this little motherfucker's ass"?
I loved it because, like, I remember getting in the game. The first thing the opposite bench would say, "Take his little ass in the post. Take his little ass in the post." That's what everybody would say on the other team. You know what I'm saying? So that was my life, and I loved it. I loved it because to me, okay, you might come down and get this two, but I'm coming back with a three. You know what I'm saying? And at that time, like if I didn't stop you, if you posted me up and you scored, they was coming right back to it again. They scored, they're gonna come right back, and your ass is coming out the game. So I had to fight that day in and day out, and I had an attitude like, okay, now I'm not gonna let you score on me more than once. You might get once, but if you're gonna score six in a row, I'm coming down. I'm gonna get nine because I'm gonna make three threes. That was my mentality. But I never saw myself as being a negative. To me, the speed and the shot was such a problem for them. They had more problems guarding me than I had guarding them. And we could always double team them. But the speed and the shot combined was such a problem to people, man. I was just like, okay, I'm just coming back at you. However you want to do it. And most of the time I would be cool. But if somebody went at me, then I would say, okay, this is what we doing. All right, let's go. I'm gonna jack this shit up.
Yeah. And Dana, when you look at the NBA today, and even in college, how prevalent the three-point shot is today. If you played in this game, how many three-pointers you think you would average per attempt in a game?
Shit, I get up like Steph. I get up 12, 13, but I played in the era with Rick and them. Rick, like if I came down the lane with the floater, Rick and Oakley would be like, yo, that's the last time I'm gonna knock your ass out, DB. You know what I mean? So that's the game we played. I wasn't allowed to do that, but I would love to play now, man. It would be crazy right now. I'll be a perennial all-star, not just a one-time all-star. This game is different. I watch players come down 3-on-1 and the dudes is flaring to the corner shooting three-pointers, man. And they call him 32% shooters, great shooters, and 3-and-D, and he's a good shooter. No, I would love to be in this game right now. And it's so much easier to score, man. The game is so soft. It's like it's so. I was gonna say another word. It's so soft right now. Like and you doing a show with Rick, so you know what I'm talking about because you with Rick. So it's just totally different, man. I would love to play now. It's just a different type of game, man.
Dana, you mentioned something similar to what my life, football.
Right.
What position would you play? Well, what position did you play? And if you ever had that chance and opportunity to do it at BC?
I played receiver and D-back, so I went on a visit to Michigan and I ran a 4.340. So I was a special teams, you know what I'm saying? I was special teams, like I led the nation in punt returns, kick returns, interceptions. Once I got the ball in my hands, man, it was over. Like I was just I was different on the field, and so if I would have got to BC, I would have played receiver. I didn't like hitting running backs. I just like when they threw the ball. I didn't like tackling people. They at my size at 150, 160. I didn't want to come up through the line trying to hit no fullback. I wasn't trying to do that. I was waiting for you to throw the ball. I was going to jump up and intercept it, and then I was going to take it to the house like prime time. I was going to high step on you. I didn't want no part of that contact, but it did. Playing football made me a better basketball player because when I got to the league and the game was so physical, it didn't really affect me much, man. It didn't really affect me the way that most players would see the game as physical. I would get knocked down and I would watch myself on tape. I'd be like, damn, I fell like 17 times in the game. I didn't even realize it. I would just get up and run back because I was used to the physical contact from football.
Yeah. Hey, Dana, you're close with the Celtics. I consider you Mr. Boston and stuff. When you look at Jayson Tatum, you were there, I believe, when he made his return. What are your overall thoughts thus far? And is there any type of advice you would offer him to maybe be, in a sense, make sure that he takes care of himself, of doing something we haven't seen ever before, of returning so soon from an Achilles tear?
Yeah, I mean, I was one of the guys. I do consulting. I work in the front office, do consulting for them. So I was one of the guys, like in February, saying to on Instagram and shit, like, bro, don't succumb to the pressure, man. Take your time, get to 100%. And I thought it would be longer. I didn't have no inkling that he was going to come back. Because and Rick will tell you, if you come back, I came back from ankle surgery early, running sideways, ended up getting bulging disc in my back because I was running off. I didn't want that to happen to him, so I was very scared. I was very, very nervous for him. But after watching him for the third straight game, I'm like, wow, he looks pretty good. Like he looks, now there's still some time left where he has to maintain a certain consistency of not overdoing it. But I was amazed that he came back that early and looked that good, because when I was standing on the court watching him in the warm-ups, watching him jump off that one leg and jump in full speed, jump in full height, I was like, damn, but there is that subconscious in the back of your mind that it doesn't allow you to go fully 100%. I see him still going like 85, 90% because it's just the confidence that you don't have. Your body has to have and your mind has to have to go that 100% and fully, get that thrust off of that leg. I still think he still has another 10 or 15% to go, because it's just your body won't allow you to do that, But he looks great, man. He looks great so far, and I'm amazed that he came back that early.
Gerald and I were arguing before the show, but also with the Wilt Chamberlain and
we
Bam
argue
Adebayo.
we
did. But you know what? Seeing what technology, since you're a consultant similar to what I am with the Pistons, do you see this new technology that they got? Remember we had to catch we had to catch regular airlines, and people don't understand that we had to catch buses, places, and things like we didn't have the stuff that these young men have in today. What do you see as far as, when you see injuries now, to see that Tatum's come back the way that you see him coming back? How much of this technology and also the experience of these new people coming in with these new ideas?
Yeah, totally different. Like, I try to tell people our back-to-back was, okay, we play Houston on Wednesday, we play Utah on Thursday. We're not leaving after the game Wednesday in Houston. We waking up at 6:30 the next day. We're getting on a plane. We don't get to Utah till 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and the game's at 7. We playing the same day that we flying. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the major differences, where their bodies are way, they're way more prepared to play a back-to-back. But the technology is different. These guys are wearing watches that tell them how much they sleep. They're getting hyperbaric chambers at home. They got cooks, they're cooking them food. After the game, they'd be like, which I want, Popeyes or subs? You know what I'm saying? That's what we would get after the game. It was like, it wasn't, so they got the food, they got the technology. They driving right up to the plane, getting on the plane. When they get off the plane, the car's sitting there warmed up for them. Like we had to wait for the bags. It was just, so everything's different. It's totally a different way for them to prepare themselves for the game. And again, the technology and the medicine is so different. I could see him coming back early, but still 10 months is still a little early. Achilles used to be the death of an athlete, man. You know what I mean? That used to be the death injury of an athlete. And to see guys coming back at 10 months is amazing, man. I just hope he stays healthy the rest of the year and continues through the playoffs.
Yeah. And then when you look back at that Seattle Seahawks team, Supersonics and the Sonics teams and stuff that you were a part of, do you think those teams, if they would have won at least an NBA championship or got close, that they would be remembered? And obviously, how important do you believe it is for the Seattle to have, once again, possibly a franchise in the future?
Yeah, that's a damn shame, man. I mean, we had great fan base, man. Like, it was a great city to play in, and it just became where the owner of Starbucks bought the team, and the league said, if the Seattle doesn't give you a new arena in 5 years, then we'll allow you to move the team, because the league thought that Seattle would vote for them to get a new arena. But the fans just built a new kingdom for the football and baseball team. And they was like, the city was like, we ain't spending no more money. So that allowed him to move the team, which was terrible. It had nothing to do with the fans. It had nothing to do with the team. I mean, they had Kevin Durant and Ray Allen when they moved. It was crazy, man. So to me, it was a shame. And if and when they do come back with any expansion team, the first team better be Seattle, because it was a travesty what they did to the city, and the fans deserve to have that in the memory of the Sonics and Kemp and Peyton and all the history of that. And downtown Freddie Brown and Gus Williams and all that, man. That needs to be remembered and brought back into the league, man. It's just a shame.
Well, you was
Lenny
a part of
Wilkens.
that too. Now we ain't overlook
We
you.
ain't, hey,
We ain't
you forgot.
overlooking you, brother. You was
We
a
ain't
part of that.
overlooking you, but Lenny Wilkens, you got. I mean, Dana, when we used to take them trips out west, and you go like, okay, we're going to Portland, and I remember when they had the Vancouver Grizzlies.
Yep.
So it was like a 3-stop right there, and you're getting all this great seafood. What do you miss about Seattle? But you're already in Boston anyway, so
Right. I mean, just the fans and the atmosphere. I mean, like, damn. I mean, like you said, the food was great. The city was like, coming from Boston, I was like, damn, I never seen a city so clean in my life. You know what I mean? People say hi to you walking down the street. I'm like, what the hell is going on out here, right? So it was like a total culture shock to me coming from Boston, right? So, but just the city itself, man, it was a great city. And again, just the history of Gus Williams used to be my favorite player growing up. Even though I was from Boston, I had to watch games recorded late at night just to see my guy play. And just to not have the history of that and not to have those uniforms in Seattle, man, it's a shame, man. I miss that city, man. I miss going back there and just having that atmosphere, man, and listening to Gary talk out the side of his mouth, yelling at everybody coming through the city. You know what I'm saying?
How good was those teams that you on with Gary Payton and Dale Ellis and just really that obviously Sean Kemp? How good was those teams and how things perhaps may have changed? Do you think if y'all would have been able to capture a championship, that perhaps might have been able to keep that team a little bit longer in Seattle?
It might have. I mean, we had great teams, man. I mean, we won 50 and 60 games. We just ran into Barkley in Game 7 in the Western Conference Finals, and then before that, we lost to Karl Malone and Stockton a couple of times in the finals, and Elijah Warren in the Western Finals. So we just lost some Game 6s and Game 7s in the Western Conference Finals to some great teams and some great players just at that time. It's kind of like the Knicks running into Jordan, in Indiana running into Jordan and those teams never making it because of those great teams in the East. So, and running into Rick and the Pistons as well in the East. They knocked some teams away, didn't allow some teams to go. So we just were unfortunate, man, to have Stockton and Malone and Elijah Warren and Barkley out there in the West. But we had great teams. We won 50 and 60 games a year. And, man, we was a squad, man. And I was sad that they broke us up, in terms of, trading me away, trading Derek McKee and Eddie Johnson. For to me, we should have kept that team together, man, and played with the younger guys. And they went older to try to win that chip at the time, but to me, we should have stayed young and gave it another year or two.
Yeah.
Dang, I got my question is, you be around the Boston players. Which, what players come to you for advice, experiences, and things to that nature?
I mean, like, I just think being around, like, they're crazy because I have a basketball gym, and like during the lockout, like when no one could play, all the Celtics came in and secretly was playing at my gym behind the scenes before they went to the bubble. So I got to see Tatum and Brown when they were really young, and they would just come to me, OG, what about this? How you do this, OG, and just to have the ability to talk to them young guys about taking care of your body. I used to tell them, man, take care of your body, man. Stay out the clubs. Stay away from the women and the baby mamas and all that. I just try to keep their head on straight because athletically, they were great players even at that young age. I just try to teach them the off the court stuff, man. Just keep your body and your mind straight because this shit is over quick, man. It goes quick. You're gonna think, oh, I'm gonna be here forever, and next thing you know, you're gonna be in your 13th, 14th year, and they're gonna be trading your ass somewhere else, and you're gonna be like thinking you're gonna play in one spot forever. It's just never gonna be like that. So enjoy the time you have and don't take it for granted, man, because injuries, as you see now, injuries can happen, and the time flies, man. And playing in the NBA is an honor, and not that many people get to do it. So that's what I try to keep them to maintain that shit mentally.
Yeah. And Dana, when you look at your alma mater, Boston College, and obviously they've it's tough, man. And I remember hearing Rick Pitino was talking to him, and one time Coach was saying, you know what? Boston College never should have went to the ACC, but it was really motivated by the money. Obviously, they got football and the money and stuff. And now they've really struggled, and now they're looking for a new coach. You are an alumni. We see in college basketball, we've seen obviously Penny go back and coach his alma mater among guys and stuff. Have you ever thought about being able to coach? I know you did some coaching at Newberry College and stuff, but have you ever thought about putting your name in the hat in terms of going back and helping your alma mater? And could it be a situation? What is it going to take? A two-part question. What will it take for Boston College to become a relevant part of the ACC, if possible?
They ain't ready for me, man. They ain't ready for me to take over there. Like I think that, hell yeah, I think I would be the great. Like to me, I'm the coach of Boston. Like with me having a gym, I got the top 100 Gatorade players coming through my gym. So I'm seeing all these great players. I have a connection with the younger culture as well because of that. But yeah, they just ain't ready for me. I don't think I think they need. They've had 3 coaches that they had to fire and pay. Man, they just keep trying to take the road of I think the budget, like trying to find a diamond in the rough, you know what I mean? Instead of just going out getting that real guy, you know what I mean? You go get him, pay him some real money, and like a Rick Pitino or Penny Hardaway, it's like go get him, pay him some real money, and then maybe you can stay in the ACC. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. I just feel like they had Christian, Donahue, and Earl Grant. Earl Grant's, I love Earl, my guy, but it's just time. It was time to move on at that point. And leaving the Big East was about football. They got that $30 million a year check from the TV contract, and that's the whole reason that they left, and that's why all the other teams left as well. So it'll never be another Big East like the way it was, man. And if they're gonna stay in the ACC, they definitely need to make a move and get a real guy in there and get some real players that are at the level of the ACC.
I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna say this coming from, you're the older player telling this younger player that's still, active and doing all the things. You'd be the best candidate, dude. Don't ever discount yourself. And ain't nobody. Don't ever say nobody's ready for you. They probably need what's ready, what you already know what to do to get them, because you're there and you have your basketball facility. It ain't like you tampering or anything. You
Right.
already know what you want. But the thing is, you got to get the boosters. The boosters are the ones that are giving that check out to them young people, because Johnny Dawkins is coaching. I mean, other than Penny Hardaway. Hey, man, don't ever discount yourself. I think you'd be a hell of a coach, except don't have a ponytail.
No, he ain't going back to that. He ain't going back to that. No, he ain't going back to that, man.
I appreciate that. I definitely would. I definitely feel like I would have a great opportunity to be the one to turn it around. You know what I'm saying? And I got some people putting the words in from your ex-players and that have been on social media and calling the school and putting my name in the mix. So I think I'll be involved in some capacity, just because of just talking to certain people. But I would love to be the coach. I think I would be the one to turn it around, and I think I'm the one that can mix the old and the new cultures together and bring it together. But we'll see what happens. It's time, man. It's time.
That's what that's what I wanted to hear, because when when people, when they look at this tape, they ain't gonna be nah, you just said what you needed to say right there. You're the one for that shit. I'm sorry. I don't have no money in that school or whatever. I'm Hampton. I'm a HBCU kid, and want to know something. You right there gave me chill bumps, like I want to go play right now.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I'm ready. All they gotta do is hit me up. I'm ready. I'm ready to do it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
When we get you, before we let you get on out of here, man, we definitely appreciate the time and stuff. And just obviously, this is the time of year and stuff. When you go back there, what was those battles like? And who was that team that was kind of, if you will, in those Big East battles? Who was that sort of school and specific player that you really set back and said, you know what, I got up to play, and this was going to be a battle?
I mean, Georgetown was like they were always like top 3, top 4 in the country. But I got to play against Pearl Washington for 1 year, man. I was like just watching him in high school for 2 or 3 years on Big Monday when ESPN first started. To play against the Pearl was an honor, man. To get out there, he hit me with that inside out too many times, but it was an honor to get hit up like that. You know what I'm saying? Pause. But it was this man. That was the guy that I looked up to and wanted to play against, knowing that he was still going to be there when I was a freshman. to step on that court at Madison Square Garden and at the Carrier Dome to play against him, it was an honor. Another guy that I love to play against was Sherman Douglas and Derek Coleman. You know, like those guys, man, I played against them in the league as well. Every team had an NBA player on it, you know, like St. John's had Jason Williams. You know, Connecticut had Cliff Robinson. You just go down the line. Providence had Billy Donovan. You just go down the line. Every team had a player that went to the league, and I got to play against at the next level. So it was just so many players, man. It was like I said, it was like the G League. It was like if I could play there, I knew if I could play there, I was going to the league. You know what I mean? That was the reason I wanted to go there.
No, definitely. You definitely did that. And one of the things that Rick and I always talk about is bringing players of the past on and give you your flowers, man, because, again, we live in an era that is often, you know, people just think basketball and college basketball just started now, and they don't think and get a chance to hear about greats, you know, like yourself and Rick Mahorn and stuff. And it's always a treasure to bring guys on like yourself and really just talk about the game and just really those experiences, because make no mistake, man, yo, you a bad, bad boy. And like I said before, I always remember the long T-shirt with the BC shirt come in there, and you will cook, and I'd be like, yo, who is this? This dude right here is about his business. And I'd say, man, it was always a pleasure. Before we let you get on out of here, I saw the rap video. That was the thing. I ain't mad at you. I saw that hip-hop in there. Are you still in that hip-hop right now and stuff like that? If you will, do you still keep that close to you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that, like, even the young kids now, when they Google me, that rap comes up from 95. But my son is an artist and he does music. So he'll send a song to me. Like, we got about 15 songs over the last 5 years or so, man. I get in the booth and spit just for him. He has a SoundCloud. So if you go on his SoundCloud, it's Jordan Barros. He got a SoundCloud. You'll hear me on like 4 or 5 songs. I still love it. The culture is in me. I love music. Music and sports go together. Like, again, like being in a warm-up line at Madison Square Garden and that bass hitting you know, that's what it's about. So music is in me. I still love music. I still do music. And it's just part of the culture. It's part of the culture of basketball. It's like, you know, it's like AI, you know, with the braids and the shorts, and then you add the music to it. It's just a part of everything. So it's in me. I still love the music, and I still do it, you know, occasionally when my son hits me up.
Do you know anything about them Buffalo boys?
No, talking about
Griselda.
Griselda, but Benny the
oh yeah,
Butcher, Conway,
Benny, and yeah,
West Side Guns.
Definitely. They was running the game for a minute. They you know, they was running the game for a minute.
Yeah, so Rick, myself, and BJ Armstrong, we all in a group text that we just throw around hip hop. So we don't throw rap, we throw hip hop around. MCs, we celebrate the MC, the EMCEE. We throw around there. And one of the guys always come up was especially from the Bean, is Ed OG. You know what I'm saying? From hell.
That was my guy.
Ed OG.
That was my guy.
OG, yo, we hip hop. So again, man, definitely that was something that really stood out. Listen, Dana, man, all the best, man. Congrats, continued success in everything that you're doing. Really appreciate the time, good brother, and definitely appreciate you taking the time out to chat with us. And look, man, do us a favor, come back on the show, man.
Yeah, come back on when you get that coaching job.
Yeah, when you get that job, when you get that PC job,
and if you don't get it or some form of it, still come on back, son.
Definitely.
Always
it's
invited.
an honor. It's a pleasure, man. And Ricky's my OG, man. So anytime, anytime. You know, he could have hurt me a couple of times. He warned me. He said, Dana, that's the last time I'm gonna warn you. So I appreciate that. He always been my OG.
Really? But you know what? That's the same thing BJ said. BJ would tell you, say, you know, Rick would turn around and be like, you know, I could have fucked you up right there, right? You know that. I could have laid your ass out.
He gave you that one warning. So I appreciated that.
You know, hey, I got to keep the original baby face assassin. I got to keep him humbled a little bit.
100. Salute, man. Appreciate it.
And
send me some clips, man. I'll post it on the gram and all that, man. Send me some clips.
Definitely will, man. I got the information. I got your math. I definitely make sure we stay in contact.
All right. Salute, man. Appreciate you.
All the best, man. Dana Barros is joining us right here.
DB.
Yes, indeed. Dana Barros with us right here.
DB, baby.
Yes, indeed, man. One of the best, man. Underrated dude. Everything, man. Handle this business and stuff. So, Rick, as we get on out of here, man, I got to talk about this free agency, this NFL free agency, man. Everybody was running around here. I thought Max Crosby was going to the Baltimore Ravens. People were celebrating and all this other stuff. And then
Can't
turn
hear you.
around.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I heard all this stuff that came about with Max Crosby being able to go to the Baltimore Ravens, and then all of a sudden now I'm a little worried about my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. No decisions have been made on in terms of going after a defensive pass rusher, edge rusher. Really conservative, really conservative. And I question so much of the anger, the animosity that was towards a guy like Todd Bowles. But at the end of the day, when we look at what's happening now, when you look at a certain situation with Todd Bowles and the Buccaneers, they're not spending the money to get the guys. Rick, I was talking about Max Crosby. Everybody thought he was going to the Ravens. It was like, ooh, the Ravens are back. The Ravens are back. He fails the physical, and now he's back with the Raiders and stuff. I know you've been real busy and stuff, but when you looked at free agency, what is this? What is it about NFL free agency that kind of catches your attention, if anything?
You know what catches my attention is when players go back and they restructure their contract. And the fact is, we're dealing in the world of salary caps, over the threshold, this and that. Sometimes, I mean, it's like a business, Gerald. And I look at it, the Lions here, best record last year, didn't make it into the finals, and so on and so on. A lot of times you can't keep these certain players because it's always, you can't keep status quo. A lot of times, you look at New England, we look at Tampa Bay, we look at saying, okay, if we get this person, but we ain't got this much money, they got to be more cautious. I mean, this is the world we live in basketball, and also in football and baseball. Nobody can be the dominant ones without paying over the threshold. Bad investments.
Yeah. Rick, as we get ready to close on out and get out of here, it's all about March Madness. And when you look at the whole situation about March Madness this time of the year, what really stands out to you about this NCAA March Madness?
Well, I'll tell you right now, I did a game the other day. I did the Michigan State game, the interstate rival game. And you know what? The intensity, just like Dana Barros was saying, it's that the feeling, it's like all of a sudden this pressure comes on you as you get ready for these tournaments. You get the triple byes, you get all these, and next thing you know, the cream starts to rise to the top because you're one and done.
Yeah.
You go, you can lose by 1 point, you lose by 80 points. It's one and done, and nobody wants to go home. And then you have the freshmen who probably won't even be there next year, or the transfer portal. This is the new thing that we're always going to see. Guys that transfer from, and now the way they transfer, they go from one school to the next school and automatically play. So they try and, between the NIL money and all that stuff. I look at teams like, I look at the Dukes. I look at Arizona. You look at the ones who's got the most money, you see who the hell's going to be out there sometimes. But I'm excited about it because when all the dust clears, you'll see which player. Oh, he's going. You hear every announcer. He's going to be a first round. He's going to be the first pick of it. I like like everybody has their opinion, and that's cool. But the one, I look at this guy at University of Michigan. I got to say his name. He was at Alabama.
No, you're talking about Yapsul.
Say his last name.
He was at UAB.
UAB.
Yapsul Landenberg. Yeah.
Landenberg. You got it. Man, let me tell you something. This young man is nice, man. And I tried to talk to NBA scout and going to tell me, I said, I know he's an older player, because now you get the young ones and you get the older ones. The older ones come in there already refined. I saw when I was watching him the first time, I said, well, where did this kid come from? Because he can handle the ball. He's 6'8", 6'9", And I said, I told the guy, I said, it kind of reminds me of a kind of Apollo Banchero type play. He's going to tell me, oh, he's not Paulo. But I said, I ain't say that. And that's what I get when you talk to some of these people who are in basketball. They think they know it all. But, when I look at players, I look at what can help your team. And the dude can play. That's what I look at. But March Madness, man, this is going to be a fun year. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it's so funny because he played at UAB, my alma mater, last year, and watching him go up against Memphis and stuff and Penny and them.
Oh yeah.
He was good. He was really good. But you saw that Michigan team up front. They got a bigs and Rick, when you saw that Michigan team and how big they are, it seems like they got kind of what you would consider an NBA size front line. Would you agree on that?
They do, and they have a great bench. Dusty May's done a good job of rotating the guys in there, knowing that this young man, Mara, who transferred from UCLA, coming, he's 7'3", he can pass the ball. But I'm gonna tell you, man, that team is built to advance into maybe the Final Four. I look at Duke. You look at injuries that's going into this as well. They have one guy that one of their guards are hurt, so he's not going to be able to play. But between the men's side, the women's side is even more fierce, man. Come on, G. You gotta get the ladies some love.
Yes, the Lady Huskies, and then Lauren Betts, the UCLA Big Ten Player of the Year. Oh man, it's going. And we ain't even talking about South Carolina, the Lady Gamecocks. I mean,
they lost the other day to Texas Tech, and I'm going like, no,
yeah.
I'm like, no, y'all lost to the tip, man. But this is, I'm man. And it doesn't matter if it's the men's or the women's. You're gonna see some good damn basketball.
Yeah, you definitely are. Hey, Rick, that about wraps it up, man. And I always say, man, next Wednesday we bringing on Gus Johnson. Gus Johnson, Gus Williams. Gus Johnson. Gus Johnson.
The Gus Williams is not here. No, come on, G. I played with him.
We bringing on Gus Johnson, the voice of college basketball. We'll get his thoughts on all the stuff associated with
Oh boy. I'm telling you, fans, y'all better fasten your seatbelts, because that one gonna be a monster. Because me and him go at it like, no, you think Gerald and I go at it? Nah, me and Gus go at it. Man, I ain't even gonna talk to that old bald head, light skinned fool.
For Rick Floyd, I'm Gerald Brown.
Trying to keep a little fuzz on his head. Oh, bald headed old light skinned fake Detroit tough guy.
What do we say, Rick? Peace.
Peace.